Mrs. Mahalakshmi,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
is she not able to join or something? Is there any connectivity problem?
Ma'am is in urgent meeting. It seems, ma'am. She'll join within 5 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, sure. Okay, ma'am, right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. The program will be starting within 5 minutes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Can we start the program, ma'am?
Yes, ma, please.
Yeah, ma'am,
Sorry for
sure.
the delay.
Yeah, ma'am. We can understand your busy schedule, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
When diet is no proper, medicine is of no use. When diet is correct, medicine is of no need. Ancient diet is good. A very happy morning to everyone. I am glad to welcome you all for the third day of the series of health webinar, Arogya Vidya, a pathway to well-being, organized by Srimati Devkundar Nanalal Bhatt, Vaishnav College for Women, Chromebit, along with our health partner, Apollo Shine Foundation. Eating healthy food fills your body with energy and nutrients. Imagine yourself smiling back at you and saying thank you. A balanced diet contains different types of food groups, that is cereals, pulses, milk and milk products, vegetables, fruits, fats and oils, and sugar. Maintaining a balanced diet helps us to lead a healthy life. Imagine us eating in front of a TV. Within minutes, our plates get empty, and we don't even know what we had as our food. Here, what is missing is mindful eating. We have a specialist today with us to talk more about mindful eating. I call upon Dr. Lekha, Vice Principal, Aided Stream, to address the gathering.
A very good morning to the distinguished panelists, my dear staff members, and above all, my dear students. Right, I'm very, very happy to be a part of today's event, which is a laudable initiative given by our esteemed institution, along with our health partner, Apollo Shine Foundation, for conducting this series of health webinars entitled Arogya Vidya, a pathway to well-being. Now, today happens to be our third day. And my dear students, by now, I think you would have understood the real meaning of Arogya Vidya. Now, this is a very, very useful piece of information imparted to you all throughout this whole week. Kindly capitalize this opportunity, imbibe all the valuable information and inputs given to you by all the major experts from the medical field. And I'm very, very happy that our health partner is really doing a sincere effort for bringing in these valuable inputs regarding the physical and mental health being of all of us. I'm very happy to welcome our chief resource person of today, Dr. Daphne. She is the chief dietitian and head the Department of Dietetics, Apollo Hospitals. And I'm very much amused by the topic on which she is going to speak to all of us today, and that is called mindful eating. Now, to my knowledge as a common man, I think mindful eating does not deal essentially with the calories or the nutritional components, but as to really concentrate on what exactly we are eating, put our heart and soul into the food that we intake and relish it. So correct me, ma'am, if I'm right or wrong. And anyway, I'm also looking forward in listening to your valuable speech today. And I'm sure it is going to enlighten all of us. So welcome to our college. And I'm sure all the students are definitely going to be benefited by today's discussion. So thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. And I'm very happy to be part of today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I once again delighted to welcome our management, principal madam, vice principal from aided and self-support team, faculty members, and dear students to today's health webinar.
Thank you. Can I start, Ma?
1 minute, ma'am. I request Mrs. Mahalakshmi, Health Coordinator, Assistant Professor, Department of Nutrition, Food Service Management and Dietetics to brief about our speaker of the day.
I am deeply delighted to welcome our chief guest for the day, Dr. Daphne. She is a chief dietitian, head of the Department of Dietetics in Apollo Hospital, Chennai. Her area of research, analysis of nutritional defects in Indian adult patients with end-stage liver disease, has a notable influence on nutritional support on pre and post liver transplant outcomes. MAN has membership in various nutrition associations like IDA, IAPEN, ISPEN, ASPEN, and ESPEN. Dr. Daphne Ma'am has contributed to nutrition as a course director in Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics Internship Program, Apollo Hospitals, Chennai, and a member of the Board of Studies at the University of Madras. Ma'am has not only published her work to a national and international extent, but has also given 25 resourceful years of clinical experience at Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. A professional diploma in clinical research and other in clinical research and other accomplishments and contributions have been identified by many honorable awards like the CMO Asia Award 2017 for the best quality initiative in healthcare at Lee Meridian, Singapore. And she has also received Apollo Clinical Excellence Award 2018 for being instrumental in the development and implementation of digital dietitian module to digitalize the nutrition care process towards the paperless hospital. It's a great pleasure to have you today, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Without further delay, let's go into the session. Audience can post their questions in the chat box and it will be answered at the end of the session. The stage is all yours, ma'am. Over to
Thank you. Thank you, Mahalakshmi. Thank you, Dr. Lekha. Thank you, Vigneshwari, for the introduction. So without delay, let's move on to the topic. I'm really delighted to talk to the younger generation. So it's about mindful eating and the art of presence while you eat. Many times we miss this presence while we eat. That's why we took this concept. You know, there are a lot of diets followed, but are we healthy? And especially during this pandemic, for the past 2 years, health has taken a toll, I can tell you, because many were not really in sync with the way they were eating and a pretty sedentary lifestyle and poor connect with the healthcare facility because of the pandemic. So it's very important that we get back to normalcy, and especially with regard to eating. This session will teach you a concept called mindful eating. So whatsoever be the father of the disease, an ill diet is the mother. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. This is Hippocrates way back 400 BC he had written. And it is so very useful now when we think food as a medicine. And the food you eat can be the safest form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. What we choose is in your hand. Eat, drink, earn rewards. This is the frame that is up and above anywhere that you have an online purchase, whether it is Swiggy or Dunzo or wherever you go, you do an online purchase with regard to food, you do get rewards, right? This is very, very common and people get crazy about it. But what are we heading to? Are we heading to a balanced eating pattern or more of pizzas, burgers? You know, it is a question that younger generation should answer. And all these, rewards with regard to food intake leads to overconsumption of calories, sugars, sodium, fat, cholesterol, and alcohol. So why are we talking about all these overconsumptions? Because all these are related to chronic diseases like coronary heart disease or stroke, which relates to high BP. Cancers, most of the GI related cancers have a link with the diet that we eat. Atherosclerosis, plagues in the arteries, And type 2 diabetes, we are number 2 across the globe. So that is why there is a problem which we foresee. And when you talk about these non-communicable diseases, it is on the increase, and the generations to come have to have a change in the way they think about eating. There is a big problem in hand because most of us are sedentary people. We relax, eat. We feel very comfortable, right? So that's why we thought we should talk on this topic of mindful eating. And before we go on to that, we should have a positive mindset before we talk about mindful eating. Because to change your body, you must first change your mind and believe in yourself. As young kids who are growing, you should believe in yourself because that helps to build resilience, to help solve problems, increase your confidence, and gives control. And all these are likely to help you stick on to a healthy behavior, what we are going to talk about. And how do we develop a positive mindset? By practicing gratitude. How many of us, by the end of the day, think about people who really supported us or helped us get through the day? Please look back and thank people who have supported you. Meditation, this has taken a big role now, especially during this pandemic. People do spend time meditating, and the future generation also should adapt to this. Affirmation, always be positive in whatever you think. Think that you're beautiful, think that you're healthy. All those affirmative things are really required. And reflect or turn your failures into lessons. None of us are always, positive or we are winners all through. No, we do have failures. But how do we use it as stepping stones, as lessons to learn and move forward? And finally, mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It is the quality or the state of being mindful, the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thought, emotions, experience on a moment-to-moment basis. That's called mindfulness. How do we relate this with mindful eating? This mindfulness was a practice based on Zen Buddhism, and that has become popular way in self-calming and a method to change the eating behavior. And mindful eating is being incorporated into behavior change programs along with recommended dietary behavior changes. So what do you mean by mindful eating? You'll have to really think back as to what it is. Dr. Lekha did put it in a very simple term. Maybe I'll take a little more time to explain in detail about it. So what feeling does this statement conjure up? It's about eat what you love and love what you eat. Many times we don't love or like what we eat. We just hurry, you eat and go, right? That happens. Mindful eating is an approach using mindful to reach a state of full attention to your experience, craving, and physical cues when you eat. The purpose of mindful eating is not about making you lose weight. No, the intention is to help individuals to savor the moments of eating, the food, and the encouragement of their presence, full presence during the eating experience, and to treat depression, anxiety, and even some eating disorders. Especially, young generation have a lot of eating disorders. So it is very important that emotionally you are very strong. And what are the fundamentals about mindful eating? This particularly involves eating slowly without distraction. Many of us do get distracted, sitting in front of the TV, having a plate full. I think Vigneshwari did mention that. Many of us do that, right? And especially kids at home. They sit in front of the TV and eat. They don't even know what they are eating, how much they are eating. No. Listening to physical hunger cues and eating only until you're full. If you're going to sit in front of the TV and eat, Do you think you'll feel full? You may not even know that. You don't realize. That's how it is. Distinguishing between true hunger and non-hunger triggers for eating. Non-hunger triggers are nothing but your depression, your emotional eating, just to satisfy, right? So engaging your senses by noticing color, smell, sounds, textures, and flavors. Do you really feel the food when you eat? Only when you spend time, you'll be able to sense the food and eat. Learning to cope with guilt and anxiety about food. If somebody is depressed or anxious, they feel eating food makes them feel soothing happens, especially, carbohydrate-rich foods are more soothing for people who are anxious. And eating to maintain overall health and well-being is very, very important. And noticing the effect of food on your feeling and figure, and learn to appreciate your food that you eat. So what is mindful eating? This is a cycle. So why? Why do you eat? Why do I have to eat? And when? When do I have to eat? What? What do I eat? How? How do I eat? How much do I eat? And where do I invest my energy? What do I eat? Do I take it out? So why do I eat? So it could be physical hunger, which makes you eat, or it could be emotional, feelings. It could be anxiety, depression, which can make somebody, feel to eat, and what time of the day you eat. And it could be social settings, what forces you to eat. What do I choose to eat? Is it only for taste that I eat, or convenience? Just grab a burger, just munch it and just go. Do I do that, or do I eat for nutrition, for healthy well-being, or does it give me comfort when I eat? How do I eat? Do I rush? Do I just gulp down and rush, or do I eat with other people? Do I get distracted when I eat, or do I have a habit of secretive eating? That is also very bad. If you are secretive in eating, maybe you might be eating more than what is required. And do I feel relieved when I eat? If that happens, that is part of emotional eating. Do I eat big bites or small bites? Do I have it with beverage or food as alone? How do I decide how much to eat? Do I measure out each serving, or do I look at the package size? Do I amount as to how much is served for me, or do I eat until I feel totally full? You need to have an understanding about the portions, what you eat. So when we talk about portions, your plate should look like this. Half a plate of vegetables and fruits, because that's going to be healthy. It's going to support your immunity with a lot of antioxidants. 1/4 of your plate should be with protein. Protein is so important for growing, for sustaining good muscles, and grains are for your energy. Dairy is also for your protein. So this is how it should be split, and this is how you should balance your plate. Do you do that? And how do I feel after eating? Am I feeling energized? Am I feeling sluggish, satisfied, guilty? What is your feeling? This also is very, very important, because many times if you overeat, you become very, very sluggish. You won't be able to do any of your routine. Just satisfied and energized to do your activity is more than suffice. You should never feel guilty that you chose the wrong food when you ate. So there are some different cycles, what I'm going to discuss. Restrictive eating cycle. Restrictive is nothing but those who are on restrictive diets. They have certain rules to follow. They have good and allowed foods, and foods to be avoided are also prescribed for them. And they have to eat rigidly with calories, specifications, and on time. And the amount suggested in the diet has to be followed, and energy has to be spent on the diet and exercise. It has to be balanced in order to maintain weight. And overeating cycle. This is very, very common among young people because they have, certain personal triggers. It can be, emotional triggers. It can be depression. It can be anxiety or some eating disorder, which, makes them eat. But there are bulimics who puke it out after eating. So that can be an external trigger, emotional triggers. And what do I eat? Temptation, tempting or comfort foods. As I told you, high carbohydrate foods are, more soothing than, protein-rich foods. So people who are tempted to eat normally choose high carbohydrate foods. And how do they eat? They eat in secret. They eat mindlessly. They eat quickly. How much? Until food is gone, until they feel uncomfortable. So where excessive fuel is stored, it can lead to obesity. Most of the people who have emotional eating habits are obese. Next comes instinctive eating cycle. This is a healthy way of eating. Why do you eat? Eat when hungry. When do you eat? Eat when you are hungry. When you are hungry, you are supposed to eat, right? What do you eat? Whatever you choose to eat. And how do you choose? You should intentionally choose the appropriate food. And how much should you eat? Enough to satisfy your hunger. Do we eat like this? Do we feel satisfied and get out when you finish eating? Sometimes we don't, right? Where do you eat? Living your life, passion, and activities. According to all this, you have to choose your diet. And let's start the journey with your hunger. The mindful eating cycle is a visuous tool to help you understand your relationship with food. However, we have to start at the beginning, and it all starts with hunger. Do you get hungry? When was the last time you felt hungry? And what did you do about it? Many times we don't even look at these cues at all. This is a 10-scale hunger, scale, which is easy for you to understand. Starting from starvation, 10 is so full that you feel sick. What is the absolute right range in this? 3 to 7 is the right range. Pretty hungry, stomach is beginning to growl. So 4 is beginning to feel hungry. And 5 is satisfied, neither hungry nor full. 6, that's after eating, right? 6 is slightly full and pleasantly full. That's the right time to get out. And 7 is slightly uncomfortable. So it is between 3 to 6, you should feel you are good. 7 to 10 should be avoided, and 1 to 2 should be avoided. You should never become too hungry to eat. Same way, you should never become too full to stop. Practice mindful eating and stop at 80% full. It is so important. It's all a practice. Once you start practicing, automatically this becomes your lifestyle. So time to dig a little deeper. What causes you to feel the way you do? Is it your belief? Is it your thought process about food? Or is it an emotional feeling? Or it is your actions which causes you feel hungry? Or it is the result, whether you have had enough that you feel so full. What is it that makes you have this feeling? So some of the triggers can be physical, environmental. It could be peer pressure that can lead to hunger pangs, or it could be emotional. So recognize what is your emotion. Name the emotion. It could be, anxiety, or you're too happy that you are freaking out to eat. And allow, don't fight with the emotion, investigate. You have to have a cognitive distortion and not to identify and nurture. So obviously you need to curtail all negative emotions and find ways and means to adapt. Fearless eating or trusting your body. Ask 4 little questions from time to time. What do I want? Do I want taste, texture, temperature, type, or craving? What is it that I want? What do I need? Look at your day. What is your need for that day? What is your body telling you? Is your body feeling hungry to eat, or is it pretty satisfied. What is it? Because you need to talk to your body, and it is a connection between your mind, body, and your stomach. What do I have? Do I have a plan for my diet? Am I even hungry to eat? Mindful eating is not just your head and mouth. It includes your belly or your stomach. It wants to be in conversation too. Yes, you have to take into account the hunger pangs or the hunger cues that's given by your stomach. Change your little voice. Get rid of good, bad, and perfect. That's what we normally talk. This is good, this is bad, this is perfectly good food that you can use. Say, I choose, instead, I can't. Either you choose or say no to it. Can you give me some examples on this? How do I choose the food that I eat? Your body tells you to, body has a craving to eat. You need to speak to your mind and tell them to calm down. The key is to eliminate the guilt, to give yourself unconditional permission to eat any food. Yes, of course, you can eat any food, but the quantity that you eat, according to, mindful eating, as we discussed, according to your hunger pangs. When the body says, I'm full, stop eating. How does this phrase make you feel? Of course, you can have a combination of foods, but at what level are you eating? Fear-based eating or fearless thoughts? What do you have? Fear-based is, I won't make healthy choice. I have a fear that I might miss out and take junk foods. Fearless, I enjoy a variety of healthy, satisfying food. Fear-based, I should feel guilty when I eat what I love. Fearless is, I eat what I love and I love what I eat. That's a very nice thing, right? So you have to love the food that you eat so that you are, mentally more satisfied. Fear-based, I really should not be eating this. A big no to all junks. Yes. Fearless way of doing it, I choose balance, variety, moderation in my eating. Even if you are taking some unhealthy food, if it is in moderate quantity, I don't think it's going to harm you. You don't have to have a fear to eat. Fear-based, I can't trust myself because I don't trust myself, in choosing an unhealthy eating pattern. Fearless, I trust myself to eat in a way that nourishes my body, mind, and my spirit. It's so important. So, time to check. Visually and physically divide your food. Check for your fullness. Which scale? Where do I stand when I eat? Am I between 5 and 6? That is the safest level. I feel satisfied when I finish my meal. I'm feeling pleasant. I'm not overdoing. I'm not feeling uncomfortable. Same way, never, become too hungry to eat. If you are, too hungry, you may not even think what you're eating. It's just that gulping in whatever you get. So I'm going to talk to you on some of the tips to start this journey. Begin with your shopping list. Consider the health values of every food that you add to your list and stick on to it by avoiding impulse buying. Whenever we go to a supermarket, whatever looks really, attractive, we tend to pick it, right? It could be a processed food. So try to avoid processed items instead. Fresh produces can be more in your wish list. And look at your appetite. Are you feeling hungry to eat? Never get on to the too hungry mode. If you skip a meal, you may be so eager to get anything into your stomach that your first priority is to fill your stomach, not to enjoy your food. Third point, start with a small portion. What is your plate size? Never take a big thali plate. It should be 9-inch plate or lower. And always fill your plate with more vegetables and adequate amount of protein and quarter portion of your basic cereal. If this is how your plate is going to look, automatically you are in a right track. Appreciate your food. Pause for a minute or two before you begin eating to contemplate everything and everyone it took to bring the meal to your table. Do we ever think that way? What are farmers doing for us? How do we get the grain? Who's growing the vegetables for us? We don't even think. That's the gratitude, what is expected of us. Think back and thank them, right? Slightly express your gratitude for the opportunity to enjoy delicious food and the companions you are enjoying with. Bring all your senses to the meal. When you're cooking, serving, and eating your food, be attentive to the color, texture, aroma, and even the sound different foods make as you prepare them. As you chew your food, try identifying all the ingredients, especially seasonings. Take small bites. Always take a small bite, not a big mouthful so that you don't relish it. Small bite, and take time. Leave your utensils between your bites. Eat. Take time to chew it, taste it, enjoy the food, and swallow. Chew thoroughly. Chew well until you can taste the essence of food. Take at least a few mouthful, 20 to 40 times, depending on the food that you eat. You can be surprised at all the flavors that get released. Generally, we don't spend enough time chewing the food. We normally gulp it down, right? We are in such a mechanical world. Eat slowly. If you follow the advice above, you won't bolt your food down. You will not just gulp it down. Devote at least 5 minutes in mindful eating before you chat with your table mate. It's not that you should not be talking when you are eating, but make sure you spend time to enjoy your food and have your conversations. Why are we talking about mindful eating? Because it has a benefit in weight management. It's not a direct link, but once you become mindful of eating, your end result will be you'll be able to maintain your weight well. You will not gain weight. Better relationship with food. Enjoy what you're eating, and there is decreased stress to your system. And next time when you are eating, what you need to have a look is on the scale of 1 to 10, how hungry am I? Today, before lunch, you will, check your system and feel how hungry are you? Are you really craving to eat, or it's just mild hunger pangs, right time for me to eat? How does the food smell? How does it taste? What is the texture like? And how will this food contribute to my health? Many a times we do not relate the food that we eat with the health, rather foresee the health benefits or the, disadvantages of having junk foods, right? So which is the right way to eat? It is about nutrient-dense foods. What are they? They are nothing but foods which provide us with vitamins and minerals and other health-promoting components with a little or no added sugar, salt, and saturated fat. So how do I ensure that I get my nutrient-dense choices? By increasing the fruits and vegetables, choosing the whole grain, using low-fat dairy, varying the protein sources. It could be non-vegetarian or vegetarian sources, and by limiting added sugars, sweets, sodium, and saturated fats. Make sure you make small changes in day-to-day life so that your plate is filled with nutrient-dense meal. This is how your plate should look. It should have all the different components of the 5 groups, including carbohydrates, protein, fat, and vitamins and minerals, as we have it as the grains and non-vegetarian and vegetarian protein, fruits and vegetables to give you vitamins and minerals, and the fat that we use for cooking. So when we talk about, the plate, portion control becomes a very important thing. Are we having burgers and Coke, Pepsi? That may not be a day-to-day affair, but many a times young generation has most of the times leaning on all this. But, this is a international way of having, a plate with some potatoes, some chicken or vegetable sauces. Indian thali will look like this. This is a sumptuous thali. But when you think about maintaining weight or good health, it should be a restricted thali with 1 starch per meal, 1 serving of protein, at least 2 cups of fruits and vegetables. And this is how your plate should be split, right? As we discussed before. And why do you balance the food groups? Because proteins and starch are beneficial in providing energy and protein to the system and gives us energy to do all our routine work. Fruits and vegetables gives us all the vitamins and minerals so that we have better immunity. And fats are filling. It adds flavor to the food as well as gives us adequate energy. And we are having a lot of foods from packed sources. Always be cautious about the serving size that you eat, because you need to look at the fat content, sugar content of all the food groups. Avoid those with a lot of added sugar. And to sum up, eat with intention and awareness. That is why I included, though mindful eating does not talk about the macro and micronutrients, I wanted it to be part of my talk because this awareness is also important for you to pick and choose the right food. Eat with intention, be present while eating, because do not distract yourself, and eat when you feel you are hungry. Fuel your body. Aim for feeling better after eating, not uncomfortable after eating, not sluggish after eating. Eat with awareness. Avoid distractions. Be aware of the ambience, flavor, aroma, temperature, and texture of the food, and use the hunger or fullness scale to understand when you're feeling hungry, when you should eat, when you should stop eating, because you should feel satisfied when you finish your plate, not uncomfortable when you finish your meal. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. This is what Bruce Lee said, and I think I had taken my time to, make you aware about mindful eating, which is a very nice concept. As kids, if you start practicing this, I expect all of us to be healthy in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a very informative and an elaborate session, ma'am. We came to know about fundamentals of mindful eating. Maintaining a balanced my plate is very essential, and we also came to know about the hunger scale and what is fear-based and fearless eating. And we need a positive mindset for leading a healthy lifestyle. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with us today. We had a great time, ma'am.
If there are any questions, I'll be happy to help Vigneshwari.
Yes, ma'am. I guess we have 1 or 2, ma'am. 1 minute. May I, ma'am?
Yeah.
Is it okay to have a cheat day while following our normal diet, ma'am?
Yes, of course. If you are a healthy person, you can have cheat days, Vigneshwari, absolutely not a problem. Cheat days are meant for people who are stringently following diet. Kids of your age group, who are healthy, need not have any restriction on their eating as long as they maintain their weight appropriately.
Okay, ma'am. One more, ma'am. Is it safe to take the paleo diet?
Paleo diet, I may not be an advocate to paleo diet because in the long run, people can have issues, because if they do not exercise, it can become a load to the kidney, and there can be impairments without proper guidance from clinicians. It's better not to start on paleo diets. Otherwise, you can contact a clinical dietitian who can support you, plan a diet which can be minimal in carbohydrates with adequate protein. Instead of completely foregoing carbohydrates, It can be minimal amount and it has to be balanced with exercise.
Thank you, ma'am. The final one, ma'am. Does the liquid diet affect our diet plan, ma'am?
Liquid diet does not affect your diet plan, but it is essential to drink at least 2 liters of water, because incorporating liquids gives us a satiety also. You feel a little full and you will be able to have a break of 2 to 3 hours in between your major meals, right? During that time, you need to have a hydration, which is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for answering our questions patiently, ma'am. We had a great time today, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Vigneshwari. Thank you, Maha. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Audience, tomorrow we have the most awaited session. These steps now ask me how. By EP by consultant clinical psychologist, Apollo Hospital from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Stay tuned, everyone. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Maha. Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, Da.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.